Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at XDC. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so we have price history here from May 2021. Now we don't have a lot of data here, so we always need to be open to the idea that this can affect the interpretation of the counts. So the way that I'm looking at this is that within the structure to the downside, we have two options really here. Either we can treat this as a low point here, or alternatively, this is our midpoint looking for the potential of continuation to the downside. So we're going to talk about this idea that we could be completed here, as well as that possibility of this continuation down. So now what we could have here is effectively this is a W, this is an X, and then this is a Y wave to the downside here. Now, if this is the case, this could technically be a completed correction, in which case we could look to potentially trend to the upside. We'd have to see a lot of things happen for this to take place. We're going to go over those in a second, but we need to just be very careful that if we do just move up here into this box that we have here at this 11998 to the 06248, and we do so only in a three-wave structure here, this could actually indicate that we could still see continuation to the downside, where this becomes A, B, and then a C wave to the downside. If this is the case, what we would be looking for as a minimum target area, given our current high here, would be towards this 01528, and then the one-to-one would actually be here towards the 00640. So these are potential downside targets. Now, if we do look to push up higher, this will obviously move these target areas higher as well. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. What I am just being mindful of is that if we do move up here, we do have this 50%, which is sitting here at the 6248. If we do see price move up into this area and it is just a three-wave move, we could look for a rejection to the downside in that C wave. So we need to be careful of that idea. Now, if we are looking at this as a potential ABC pattern, one-to-one is also sitting here towards a 6897, which if I overlay this brings us up here towards this zone of this one-to-one. Now we have done enough now that this can potentially truncate here. It is also possible that instead of this being A, B, and C, what we could get is a three-wave move to the upside here, where this becomes W, this becomes X, and we see A, B, and C to the upside. So this is also another potential here within the count. What we could see is something along these lines, where we complete this move up, we get three waves back to the downside, do not cross this 02900 area, and then we see continuation to the upside in a C wave. Given our current area, our current support zone below us would be towards this 04227, and then we also have this low area here of the 03408. So that would be our current support zone. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this. If we just get three waves back to the downside, we could get another five-wave move where this becomes bigger W and X and a Y to the upside. Now, if that's the case, what we could be potentially looking for is pushing up higher into some of these zones that we've got here. This golden pocket could be potentially interesting here towards the 08794 to the 08176. So that's going to be what we're looking out for in this bigger picture here, where we could see some continuation starting to come to the upside here. Now, if we are looking at this, then we could possibly also look to overlay with some of these other targets here. We do have this 1.236 sitting here at this 0.845, which could be an interesting zone. And then higher up here, we do also have this 0.9592. So this is just looking at this as a corrective structure to the upside. Now, the alternative here is that we could argue that this is a bullish count. Now, there's two ways that I would be looking at this. So we could potentially get something like a diagonal here, where this becomes 1 and 2 here, and then we see another three-wave move to the upside. Now, if we get a three-wave move that pushes up past this zone of this 06815, this would invalidate the idea of having this as a contracting wedge shape pattern, so a contracting diagonal to the upside. If, however, we do see a three-wave move to the upside that does pass this zone, it could still be that we're actually going to get this develop as an expanding diagonal, something along these lines, where we see three waves up, then we see three waves down, and then we see another three-wave pattern to the upside, making this a bigger diagonal pattern. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this and how we react. The areas are going to be the same for these as a support zone. If we do push up here as this A wave, we'd be looking for this idea of an ABC, and then we'd be looking to see whether we push up higher than this zone here, or alternatively, if we do, then we need to just be careful, because if we don't get this additional three-wave move developing and finding its support here, we'd want to get an interaction with this wave 1 with this, but we wouldn't want to cross this wave 2. So this would be our invalidation point of this idea. So as long as we're above that, we do have potential to push to the upside here. If we did see this play out in the way that I have it marked up here, this would be looking for a higher target here of the 08338 as a possible zone for this as an AVC coming back into this golden pocket here. So we're going to have to keep an eye. The deeper we come here, the more potential there is that this could become a contracting diagonal, which is much more common, but we do have that potential of this actually developing as a expanding diagonal. Now the alternative here would be that we would be saying something like this as 1 2 1 2. Now the reason I don't like this count is this primary wave 2 is smaller than the secondary wave 2 here. So I've got this marked up. I'm going to keep an eye on it, but effectively if we do see price develop in this way where this actually becomes 1 2 and then we push up towards this 07461, what we could then see is a 3-wave move down and another 5-wave move to the upside. If we do develop something along these lines here in this way, what this would then mean is that we could have that potential of an additional 4th and a 5th. So going to be keeping an eye on this. Like I said, it's not my primary way I'm looking at it, just because of the size of this as a wave 2 and this is a wave 2 here. It would be less likely that this is playing out in this way. At the moment, you know, this is just a corrective move. We need to see it prove itself if it is going to turn into this bigger impulse to the upside. So we're going to actually come in here and we're going to zoom in on this a little bit over here, and we're going to discuss what we think is going on here. Now, the way that I'm currently looking at this is at the lower end of this becomes 1 2, this becomes 1 2 here. This is all 3 4, and now we have actually held this zone and we've pushed away. Now our 5th wave target is actually a little bit higher up here towards this zone of this 0726 to this 6366 area. So if we do see price continue on up here a little bit more, we could see a move into this target box. However, we have come up higher than this wave 3, and this has been a very strong move here. So if we do not reach this target, it is also possible that we could see this just look to truncate here. And the way that we'd have to look at this effectively would be something like this, where this becomes 1 2 3. Would possibly look for another 3-wave move down and a 5th wave up. Now invalidation would be this low that we have here at this 05633. If we move back down below this low, then it would become more likely that we're not going to see an additional 3-wave move up into this target box area. And then rather what we'd be looking for within this count is that we could actually see price come back down here and revisit this area of this 05496 to this 04466 as a potential 4th wave here. Now we always need to be careful within structure like this, because, you know, I'm looking for this as a 4th and a 5th here, but we could actually get this as further extension here where price actually comes up here. We get 3 waves down, and then we start to develop again another 3rd wave to the upside where this becomes 1 2. We get 3 4 and 5. So going to be keeping an eye on this. As long as this low holds here, we have the potential for extension. And what our current support zone would be for if we were looking for that extension would be between this 4916 to this 5331. If we hold this zone, potentially we can look for this to develop to the upside here where this becomes 1 2, and then we'd be looking for a bigger 3rd wave up. But invalidation of that would be taking this low. If we do, however, take this low and we start to form a bit of a bigger sideways correction here, what we would want to see is something similar in time relationship to this move over here. So if we do see price come back down, what I want to see is something similar in time to this over here, playing out over here. Now this looks quite complex here, so it is possible we could get something like a zigzag to the downside here, in which case we might actually look to test out this 04466 as a possible target for this 4th wave, and then we'd be looking for that possibility of an additional 4th and a 5th to the upside here, where we get this 08211 to this 0785 as a possible 5th wave target. So going to be watching out for these higher levels. Now we're going to actually have a look at the CPR now. Coming in here and having a look at the CPR for today, what we can see is that we have actually pushed up towards these higher targets already. We didn't actually get an interaction with our daily CPR lines here. So what I'll be looking for is, you know, on the retracement here, these could actually hold as support if we do look to move down in 3 waves. If we do continue to push up here, like I said, for another 3-wave move, I would be looking out towards this zone here of the 6302. We have other targets to the upside here at the 6924 and the 7345 as possible targets for today. If we start to lose these levels here, sitting at this 5880, what we could then see is price could get gravitated back down towards these central lines at this 5357 to this 5149. If we do see these lines start to waver and we start to lose this zone, potentially we could see price come back into these lower levels here. So the S1 would be here at this 04839. We have this 04207. We have the 03787 and this area lower down here towards this 03160. So I'm going to be watching these areas to the downside if we are looking at that possibility of this price action starting to break down here. Now, if we flip this over onto the weekly, what we can see here is that we are still currently above the CPR line. So we also do have our one target still towards the upside here that we haven't quite hit. So if we do see price come up here a little bit more, 6340 could be an interesting area to see how we react. We also do have the channel top sitting towards the 6539 directly above us. Other targets for this week to the upside could be this 7549 and this 09125. So these are going to be interesting targets to see if we actually get an interaction with. If we do, however, start to fall away here, I will be interested to see whether we manage to find support here at this 04973 to this 04605. If we start to lose these central lines, then it is possible we could see price revisit this area here of this 03587 as a potential zone where we could look to see price react off of. Other downside targets for this week would be this 02002 and this area here of this 00827. So those will be downside targets. We don't always have to interact with these levels, but I would be looking out for this potential that if we do move down, this S1 target could potentially become a target. Moving over onto the monthly, we can see that we've actually met all of our targets so far for this monthly. So if we do see price actually come back down to the downside, yeah, we'll be interested to see if we can manage to find support on some of these lines. So we do have this sitting here at this 05255. We have this area here of this 04715, and we also do have some lower zones here, 03960, this level here of this 3538, 3428, and this 03311. Now this would align with holding the support, looking for that possibility of continuation up. If however we start to break down, possible downside targets for this month could still be this 02667, though we have a lot of potential support zones to get through to actually move back down to these levels. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on this throughout the rest of this month. Obviously there is not that much time left with this month, so we're going to be keeping an eye on these if we do see an interaction with them on the way to the downside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.